Welcome back to Caesar 3. From every mission on, we will have our choice in what city to found. Click on your choice of city sites. We have Capua and Tarentum. Now, the game clearly expects you to do peaceful then military. Especially if you look in the files of the game, you'll see that it's clearly intending peace, military, peace, military. I'm going to do military peace, just because it's different. So anyway, slightly dangerous province. Let's go.
Caesar is at today's gladiator tournament, and is unable to see you himself. He has asked me, his proconsul for Roma, to brief you on your next assignment. Now that you have proven your skills, you are to found a small city far south of Rome. To build the city to its desired size, you must provide more goods and services than you have achieved thus far. Plan carefully. Rome's Senate expects a good return on the starting money it has voted to give you. Your new province is rich in resources, but you will need to establish trade routes and export goods to earn all the funds that you will need. Make sure your citizens pay their taxes too. Your colony should include a dock so that it can trade overseas. Build the dock on the river with the flotsam, and make sure it has a warehouse nearby to store your exports and accept any imports. Trade ships will approach your dock when you have both opened a seaborne trade route and told your trade advisor to buy or sell one or more goods on that route. Like most buildings, the dock needs road access to labor. Caesar's expectations for you are not excessive. He will rate your performance in 5 categories: peace, prosperity, culture, favor, and overall population size. But the goals he has set you are rather low. Anything else asked of you should easily be within your power to provide. Caesar will be particularly pleased when you fulfill his requests promptly. Your new province is in lands that do not yet entirely respect Roman rule. Our old rivals, the Etruscans, might be a nuisance. Build the security features at your disposal to prevent these barbarians from becoming a real threat. You can build defensive structures and create a legion to fight the enemy. Walls will slow down an enemy's advance, although they can be breached. Build walls the same way you build roads. Click on the wall's starting point, and holding down your left mouse button, drag the wall to its end. Make the walls at least double thick if you want guards to patrol them. Build towers into your walls to defend them. Tower guards throw javelins at any enemy that comes within range. Each tower comes with a ballista, a heavy missile launcher that can do considerable damage. To train guards for the towers and soldiers for your forts, your city needs a barracks. The barracks alone can train tower guards, horse auxiliaries, and javelin auxiliaries. If it has a supply of weapons, it can also provide legionaries, the best fighters you can have. You cannot train auxiliaries or legionaries until you build a fort for each legion. Build forts well away from your residential districts. New soldiers walk from the barracks to the fort without needing roads. You cannot wall your province off from the rest of the world. Citizens and traders need the freedom to come and go. Be sure you include gatehouses at your city's entry and exit points. And if those Etruscans do cause trouble, make them feel the pain of daring to challenge Rome.
Alright, we shall do that. So, we will look at our province here. Some farmland here. There's some water up here. Some farmland here. And, okay, we can actually produce timber on this map. So, first things first, I'm going to shut off taxes for now. Pay 2 above Rome. And let's open a trade route to Capua over here. They buy weapons, even though they are a peaceful province. And let's just set the Let's just set the industry over here. 1, 2. The number of shields you see down here, by the way, I have the cursor shown so you can see what I'm pointing at, indicates how much of a resource that a city can buy or sell. So we'll build some weapons workshops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Undo that, please. Go away. 1, 3. Build a warehouse here. Have it only accept weapons. Prefecture, engineer's post, and a doctor. Employees needed. Yeah, we don't need to read that right now. Right now we just need to get our industry up and running. That's all we need to do is get our industry up and running. Okay, we can't import marble, so all we have access to are small temples. Each small temple, I actually didn't mention this last time, but each small temple appeases the gods for up to, or each respective god up to 750 people. So, if you want to know how many temples or oracles once we get there, you take your population quota, or your goal, divide it by 750, and then round it up to the nearest whole number. Alright, I'm clearing off the small houses, the 1x1s, because they take up space, and they are quite a drain on prosperity. There we go. Now sometimes if a house does not merge, you see how these are all individual 1x1 houses? Sometimes you can build along the back, like so. Make sure you put a road here. And sometimes they'll merge into 2x2 size houses this way. And you really do want your houses being 2x2. You do not want them being 1x1 if you can help it. Sometimes it's not a big deal, but other times it is really important. Hunger halts immigrants. Food should be your top priority. Don't build many structures until you have food stored in your granary. Yeah, this is all just a lie. This is all just a lie. I will demonstrate that several times in this playthrough. But yeah, you don't need that. See how this merged? The way you could tell if a house is going to merge or not, it depends on the tile of the land itself. So like certain tiles, you see how some of these look different? How they look determines whether or not they will turn into a 2x2 house. I don't know I don't know all the tiles myself. I don't know any of them, for that matter. I just put them down and hope that... I just put houses down and hope that they merge, personally. Okay, I screwed this up. So now I'm building a very rudimentary block design, and I know some of you watching now are going, oh god, not this design. I promise I won't be doing this too often, but this does need to be shown. This is the 9x9 design block. I'm going to put some statues here, because statues are good for desirability. They're far better than... gardens. But the idea of this is a fountain covers an area of 9 tiles by 9 tiles. You put a fountain, like where I did. You build houses just on the outside of the fountain's radius. And then you build services on the outside, like so. Now, this has been around since the early days of Caesar 3, and when I say the early days, I mean back in like 1998, when this game came out. It's a very small, compact, and reasonably efficient block design, but it's boring. You can do this on every map, but again, it's boring to do that on every map. I encourage people not to do this on every map, but it is very possible to do so. And also, you can build houses on the outside and provide services to the houses on the outside, but your houses will consume a ton more resources if you do that. So... well, I'm gonna wait a year. Oh, hold on. I'm actually gonna drop my salary to 0 and then just give everything back to the city. I'm gonna wait till next year before building anything because I refuse to go into debt in this playthrough. I'll go into debt once just to show something off, but I will not be going into debt after that point. Your city's population has reached 500 citizens. So let's build a gatehouse. Gatehouses can also act as roadblocks, preventing your civilians from, or your walkers from walking outside the radius of the gatehouse. The 9x9 design does not work as well if you don't have access to the gatehouse. Six. Yeah, 6 ought to be enough. Well, actually, let's do 8. 7, 8. There we go. Make a very simple design. build a library. Let's build a theater. Build a forum right there. And one temple to one god. How about Ceres? Actually, no, how about Mars? Because this is a military map, even though the military is not very intense on this map. It's still worth having Mars, the god of war, being worshipped. So the way I've designed this block... Oh, also, before I finish that thought... There we go. Anyway, before I... Oh yeah, the way I designed this block, these brown walkers will get access to all these houses, because it's within 2 tiles of the houses. It'll get access to labor from them. Oh. Let's build a fountain right there. And we'll pay higher than Rome, and we're going to start taxing our populace. Now, the amount of taxes that you get depend on the house and what difficulty you're playing on. So, to be more exact, each house type in the game has a base tax multiplier attached to it. I'm not going to list every single house type, but for this mission, I will say that tents and hovels provide a ×1 tax multiplier. This gets rounded down by 0.75% on very hard, and then gets rounded down to the nearest whole number. Hovels and casas provide ×2. Small insula provide ×3. And so on and so forth. In this map, we can only go up to medium insula if we want to. We're not going to, but we can if we want to. Let's just delete this. We don't care if these people get healthcare. They can get sick and die, and it doesn't matter. But, if you're playing on very hard, tents and hovels, or tents and shacks, will provide 0.75 tax multiplier, which gets rounded down to 0. So they don't provide any tax on very hard. Casas and hovels go down to 1.5, which gets rounded down to 1, and so on and so forth. Small insula go down to ×2, but it's still double the tax income of these small casas. So it's very often very worth your while to improve your pleb housing to small insula, which I'm not going to do here, but just for demonstrations, just for an explanation. I have to explain it. Also, well, it's saying you need local access to a bathhouse. It also these casas also need pottery to evolve. I'll explain the music change in just a minute. Each house, regardless of if it's a 1x1 or a 2x2, consume pottery, oil, and furniture at the same rate, which is 0.24 units of that particular resource per year. So, because of that, you absolutely want anything between large casa to medium insula being a 2x2. You do not want these 1x1s if you're gonna raise your houses beyond small casa. If you raise it up to large insula, then if you raise it up to small insula, then they'll automatically become 2x2. or above. So, enemies are closing. Distant battle means an enemy army is going to be attacking your city in 3 years. Enemies closing means they're going to be here in 2 years. So Syracuse buys furniture and wine. One, two. One, two, one, two, one, two. Okay. I'm just, I may be building too much. Oh. This thing here is actually a feature in Julius. In Vanilla Caesar 3, this will accept furniture. In Vanilla Caesar 3, no, I don't want to import. I want to export once I open that trade route. In Vanilla Caesar 3, what you need to do is manually click everything to not accepting, except for the good that you want in here, in your warehouses and granaries. And trust me, you do not want more than one in each warehouse or granary, because it'll overfill with one kind. Let me just, you know what, we can underproduce furniture, it's fine. We don't need to be producing optimal furniture for max exports for this map. You should, but it's not required. Yeah, that's a quality of life thing that Julius added. And as for the music change that I mentioned earlier, the music will change once you get to certain city populations. It'll change once your city is between, like, the starting music will be between 1,000 or 0 and 999 people. This music that you're hearing here will change between 1,000 and 1999 people. The next one will be between 2,000 and 49.99 people. The next one will be between 5,000 and 69.99. And the final music change happens once you hit above 7,000 people. So we're making 300 in taxes. That's not a lot, but it'll do. Yeah, let's delete these houses and put down these services. What do they have to say after being evicted?
I've been thrown out of my home! I've been thrown out of my home! I've got nowhere to live. I've got nowhere to live.
Oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. You can live in the crappy, deserted housing. I don't care. I honestly do not care about the lives of plebs. Oh. Let me just delete that. There we go. So, what else can I explain while we're sitting around waiting? Ah, prosperity. Prosperity goes up at the end of every year. We'll watch it over here. See, it just jumped from 4 to 9. Basically, the long and short is you want to have good housing in your city. Your prosperity is capped at your... The prosperity cap of your city entirely depends on how good your city housing is. The amount that it goes up at the end of each year depends on a couple of things. But essentially, you want to have low unemployment. You want to pay 2 above Rome, at least 2 above Rome. That gives you an extra point in prosperity. If you have less than 10% of your, or no, it's less than 30% of your population living in tents or shacks, you get an extra point. If you have 10% of your population or more living in villas, which I can't do on this map, you get an extra point. If you have an active hippodrome in your city, you get 1 point, which I can't have. Let's see, how many temples to each god do I have? I have 3 to Mars. And then Venus. Alright, that's good. And then 1. Some delay here when I'm recording this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just have to fulfill some requests to Caesar or give him a gift. City's population has reached 2,000 citizens for the first time in history. I'm gonna build a warehouse just for accepting vines, because I know Caesar will inevitably request vines. I don't know when, but he will. Well, while we're sitting around waiting, let's explain city sentiment. So city sentiment is comprised of three factors. Well, three major factors. How much you are paying above Rome, and this caps up to +8. How much you are taxing your people, and how much unemployment you have in your city. Now, I have 40% unemployment, and that's really bad. Enemies are at the door. Some things that can immediately improve your city sentiment is holding a festival once per year to any respective god. We'll just hold a festival to Mars. Just, you know, just because. This will improve city sentiment for a little while. The Venus blessing improves city sentiment for a little bit. I don't know how much. But basically, unless you want to depend on gods for city sentiment, you generally just do have low unemployment, pay above 8 above Rome, and then tax your people a modest amount. You don't want to tax them too much or else they'll flip out. They will leave your city, and at worst, they will riot against you. And that'll wreck your peace rating down here. Peace, the only way to improve peace is to go year after year without any property damage in your city. Let's increase game speed, because there's nothing going on. As the day-long festival you decreed draws to a close, delighted citizens stagger home, tired but happy, while your chosen god smiles down benevolently. So now we're going above the population requirement, which is okay. There's that vine request. Here, take it. I'm going way above the population requirement. Let's just delete some tents. Evict some squatters. Okay. Enemies of Rome are at the outskirts of your city. Expect them to drop in for an urn or two of wine, and whatever else strikes their fancy. So these men are not academy trained. That is fine. We will send them in anyway. We will put a military academy here along with the temples. And, oh no, a few of my men have died. Oh no. Actually, that's fine. I don't really care. And they are all dead. Now, this is a thing added in Julius. In vanilla, you have to right-click, do like this, and then... yeah. You have to do that. So if you have a... so yeah. If you have an academy, or if you have a non-academy trained fort that is filled to the brim, all you do is let at least one man die. Once that one man dies, your barracks will recruit a new man that is academy trained, and that counts as the entire fort being academy trained. It's a nice tip for needing some early defense, even if it's not good. But you really want the military academy. But let's say you can't afford it. So, we're not going to see any more military activity, we're just going to win. And by the way, you can't improve game speed past 100 in vanilla. That's a Julius feature. Except promotion.
The Etruscans will not threaten Tarentum again. Well done. It is the rare governor who can balance city building and combat. Now let us see if you can repeat your success. Or was that just luck?
No, I assure you that was not luck. That was all skill. But next time, we'll be going to the peaceful province of Capua. See you guys next time.